Making Certificate Session 5. This is our last session of first unit. At the end of the session, you will learn to save and export a file. We have already learned how to save and export a file in our 4th standard. Now let's recall all these facts. First of all, save the file. What are the steps to save a file? Click Save on the File menu, then select the folder to save the certificate, then name the file, and finally click Save. That is, click File, then Save, then select the folder, type file name, and finally save. And we have studied .xcf is the default format of the files preparing in the GIMP software. And .png is the default format of the picture file. So each and every file have its own format. That means a file of MS Word is different from a file of MS Paint, and which is different from the file of MS GIMP, which is different from a file of PowerPoint. So each files or each applications have different format for their files. And the computer immediately understands what type of file it is from this format or extension. That means extension means 3 letters followed by this dot. So from the extension, the computer understands what type of file it is. If the computer reads it as .xcf, the computer immediately understands that is a GIMP file. If it read as .png, the computer understands that is a picture file. All right. Okay. Now let's see how we can save a file. First step is click File, then Save, then select the name of the file, then select the folder name, and finally click Save. Okay? Yes, that is, first of all, let's select the file name, and you can see .xcf there because it is the default format of GIMP file. After that, let's select the folder. Yes, let's select desktop as our folder name. So we can see desktop in our folder, right? Yes. And finally, click Save. All right. So our certificate.xcf has been saved in our desktop folder. All right. Now let's see export. For printing, the file should be exported to picture format. And we have learned while exporting .png format will appear as default. We have already learned .png is the default format of picture file. Okay. Now in order to export any other format other than PNG, select the file name or file type by extension. That means select the file name dot followed by the extension. You can choose any extension or to which format you want, like JPEG, JPG, etc. And if you are happy with the default format .png, you need not give any extension followed by this file name. Okay. Now, what is export? Export means converting a file from one format to another. Here we are converting our GIMP file to a picture file. That means we are converting it from .xcf to .png. Now let's see what are the steps to export a file. First of all, select File, then Export, then select the folder, then type file name, and finally export. All right. Okay, now let's see how we can do this. Click File, then Export as. Yes, Then we can select the file name. Now here we can see .png as default because we are exporting it to picture format and the default format of picture is .png. Alright, so we have given the file name. After all, let's select the folder as desktop. Okay, and finally export. Alright, yes. So we will get a dialog box like this. Select export from the box and finally, yes, we can see our file in our desktop folder. Here you can see certificate.xcf, that is the GIMP file, and certificate.png, that is our picture file which are saved in our desktop folder. All right, and if you want to make any changes, you can apply only to the original file, that is our GIMP file. You cannot make any changes to the picture file, that is certificate.png. All right, so this is the end of the chapter. So we have created a beautiful certificate for our ArtSpace, and finally we have saved our file, and also we have exported our certificate to a picture file or picture format, right? All right. So that's all for today's class. Thank you.